Okay, good day and welcome to Gaming with the Colonel. I'm Sean Moran. I'm going to have a look today at Columbia Games, Shenandoah Valley, the Jackson's Valley campaign. I've had this game for, a couple of years now, and I've played it. Played it by myself maybe 2 or 3 times, and I played it once with my brother this summer, and really enjoyed it. So what I thought I'd do is I would do a bit of an overview, talk about some of the rules, and I might actually set it up and play a couple of turns, but I'm not going to do a full. I'm not going to play it to the end probably. I wanted to make a video about how to play it and talk about the rules, and maybe talk about why I like it. It certainly is a typical Columbia game in terms of a lot of the rules, so that's easy to learn. But I just found it to be a fairly, I want to say, fast pace. You can play it fairly quickly, and there's lots going on in the game, so that's why I enjoy it. Okay. So what I thought we'd start off with is a bit of the christening of the ground. And I must apologize, I've got this one glare over here that I just can't get rid of, but I've tried. I need to do some better lighting down here. So christening of the ground. So we're talking about the Shenandoah Valley, and some of the things that we're looking at here. And the side that I'm on right now would be where the Confederates would sit, and essentially the Union player would sit over there. But you've got Charlottesville down here. You've got Stanton. I'm just going to give you the major towns. Franklin, Harpersburg, Newmarket, Madison, Front Royal, Strasburg, Moorville, Romney, Winchester, Harper's Ferry, Hagerstown, Hancock, and Cumberland. Looking at the map, you've got one railroad down here that the Confederates can use, but it doesn't really come into play that much, I would suggest to you. You've got roads, these thinner lines here. You've got trails. You've got some rivers, and you've got actual fords represented by these sort of blue sort of ovals. The one major feature or map indicator would be the Valley Pike Road, which was used, to move quickly up and down the valley. What other things going on this map? You've got mountain ridges, Great North Mountain Ridge. I won't name them all. Blue Ridge Mountain, of course. And is there any other railroads? No, north is facing this way, west, east, south. And that's pretty much it. There's some historical things on the map of where actual battles took place. Okay, so there is also the deployment card, and what you're looking at right now is the Confederate deployment card. You've got Jackson. Notice that he's got V for Virginia for his forces. Johnson, Ewell, and you also have what these are called detachments, essentially, and we'll get into them later on, but it's a supply function where you can pull a detachment per turn. So, and up here you've got the USA, you got Banks, Shields, Fremont, and Stale, I'm not saying that correctly, as well as their detachments. And, typical blocks, artillery, infantry, and a yellow for cavalry. These leaders obviously have a command function, and for the detachments they have a command function too as leaders as well. What else would I say about the blocks? I think the strongest block is probably C3 and B3 for Jackson. Or the majority of the rest are C2s, although Ewell has a C3 down here. Whereas the USA, obviously they have more blocks, but there's a lot more C1s and C2s up here. In fact, there's an A3 for Harper's Ferry for artillery, but it doesn't really come into play. So mostly the Confederate forces have I would say, an advantage on firepower, but obviously the USA has an advantage on their amount of troops that they have. Okay, so the way the game goes is you have to do a roll for initiative, and so you roll 2 dice, and the high roll wins. If you get a tie, the Confederates get to go. The Confederates always get to go the first turn. And the turns consist of essentially a movement phase. First player, second player, then battles are resolved. And battles are resolved one by one. Player one chooses. The first round in battle is mandatory, and the attacker must have defeated the defender by round 3. Otherwise, he must retreat in round 4, and of course, gets fired on by the defender. There's a supply phase where you actually get some points to rejuvenate your guys, and you actually have to do check out supply, but it's not a huge factor. But we'll get into it a little later. The whole victory is to get a certain number of points, and I don't remember exactly what it is, the amount, but you get points for I believe it's for defeating guys, but also you get points for taking over major towns. And in terms of control of towns, a major town with a number in it, you always control if it's your side, unless the enemy occupies it. Okay, so if I moved out of Newmarket, I would still control it unless Union forces took it. The minor towns, they're always neutral, regardless of them being red or blue. They're always neutral unless you're occupying it. And the control of towns happens immediately as soon as you take it or leave it or whatever. Okay, what else do I want to talk about? Stacking limits, I guess. It's not really stacking limits, but I guess it's about stacking in terms of amount of forces that can go down a road. So down the pike, the Valley Pike, you can move 12 units from one town to the next, and you can only move one town to the next. You can do a forced march, but there is a straggler roll, and you can attack with 6 again on the Valley Pike Road. Down normal roads, you can move 8 and attack with 4. And down a trail, you can move 4 and attack with 2. And ferries and fords, it's 2 across or 1 attack. Bridges, they're basically the same as fords, except they have a -1 firepower for the attacker. So if you're attacking across a bridge and you're like an A2, you're actually an A1 for the first round only. What else? There's some gaps in here, I think. I'm just going to see if I can find one. Let me see if I can find one. Yeah, here we go. Sweener's Gap. So this is a trail, and there's a gap in here. So when you're allowed to move 4 along the gap and attack 2 along the gap. And one thing to note, that headquarters or leaders, they don't count as for movement in terms of the number of blocks that can move down a road. Okay, and typical units, I think we sort of looked at it, but you got your cavalry, your infantry, and again, you've got your strength of the block 3, 2, 1, that you rotate as you take hits. And of course, you've got the classic Columbia Games, C3, meaning that AB's attack before him, but when he gets to attack as a C, he is a C3. And defenders roll first, attackers go second in terms of their dice rolls. One thing to note is the 2 blocks at Harper's Ferry, fairly strong Union forces. This was a 4C2, and I think I mentioned it was an A3. They're not allowed to move. They have to stay there. So, I've never actually had a game where it was actually significant of having those forces. But anyways, obviously a historical thing is what it is. Okay, now for the detachments. Each supply turn, after you get your supply points to increase your forces, and essentially what that is the Union gets 3 supply points, so meaning that they can add steps to up to 3 steps to their units, and the Confederates get 2. But each side also gets to at the end of each supply turn, take 1 detachment, and they have to put it, I believe, into a town that obviously they occupy or control. And you can and then you can use them the next turn. All the detachments are at strength 1, so you got to take that for what it's worth. It's really what those detachments are going to use to is to occupy certain towns that you wouldn't normally control, or if you've lost a headquarters and you get a headquarters detachment, then you're gonna use that so you can actually attack. But the problem is that when you have a headquarters and you use them, they lose a step after they've done something, right? You activate a headquarters, you move your units that are within range of the headquarters, and I apologize, I forgot to mention that. Headquarters have a range of 1. They're normal hex plus a hex, the hex around them, in this case, not hex, it's the adjacent town. But whereas Jackson actually has 2. So Jackson can be 2 towns away. He can activate forces and move them. But every time you do something with them, then obviously they lose a step is what happens, which is a typical rule from Columbia Games. Headquarters have to have integrity division, except for Jackson. Jackson can command anybody, but everybody else, the Virginians have to command the Virginians, and you have to have unit integrity, for whether it's the North Carolinians or whatever. You can move 1 town to attack and 2 towns if you're just moving, but you can also force march. So you could move 2 towns in attack on a forced march, but if you roll a 1 to 3 for U.S. forces, you lose a step. 1 to 2 for rebel forces, you lose a step. So the rebels got a bit of an advantage there. You can move without a headquarters activating, but it's always a forced march. So you'd always have to roll. Let's see what else we got here. Gone through what you can do on the trails. If you are moving forces in on your movement turn, like if I'm the Confederates and I'm attacking, and the U.S. is going to reinforce the attack, they come in on round 2, which is, again, a typical rule. If you lose guys, they're permanently eliminated. If you are retreating, like on your 4th round, the cavalry get a +1 to attack you with, the defending cavalry. I didn't know that, actually. I don't think I've played that in the past. I kind of found it now. And of course, victors after any battle, they can regroup it to adjacent towns. What else? Oh, supply. So you are allowed to put 4 units in a town for supply. They can be supplied, +2 if you're on the Pike Valley Road. So you can do 6 guys basically on the Valley Pike Road. And I already said that the rebels get 2 supply points and the U.S. get 3 points. If you're unsupplied, because you do have to trace a line of supply back to, you can't see this. There's a symbol here for the U.S. and here. So they've got a 3rd one here. And the rebels have these 2. So you have to trace a line of supply. And this actually came into a factor with a game I had with my brother, that I actually had units that were out of supply. They can still move and attack, but they couldn't gain steps. So it is something to look at. And there is something also about bad supply through gaps. Basically, supply traced via a mountain gap is bad supply. Units with the bad supply have a replacement cost of 2 per step. So if you've only got 2 supply points and you want to supply a unit that's going through a gap, you actually have to use both. Unless you're the rebels, you have to use both supply points to gain one step. Okay, so that's kind of all the rules that I wanted to talk about. I think what I'll do is I'll pause, I'll set up the game, and I'll play a couple of turns, and I'll talk more about that, and maybe even some strategy. Okay, we're back. I've got the board set up, and about to do basically an opening move. So you got the Confederates down here, basically in the south, along, just sort of east of the Shenandoah. And what else do we got going on here? We've got some guys in Standardsville, Conrad, that sort of thing. Anyways, you got the U.S. Union forces along here, along that Valley Pike Road. You got your Harper two without attacking, so I'm going to go 1, 2, and move that whole body there. He can also move these guys, but there's a leader with them there. I think that leader could just move without being activated. I don't know that. I'm not sure. Maybe for this turn I'll just do that though. Things really get mucked up over here, so I think what I'll do is I'll leave. You know what? I'm not going. No, I'm going to move these guys under Jackson's command. I'm going to move these guys 1, 2 like this. That is a road, so there should be no issues with that in terms of, yeah, road can move 8, attack 4, so we're good with that. Okay. Jackson will then lose a step, and he'll move 1, 2 back up with the forces that he was with. I think we'll also activate, this is Yule. Things get mucked up around here too. Okay, trails. I can move 4 on a trail and attack 2. These guys are adjacent to him. See, I probably want to get a headquarters unit over here real soon from 4 of these units so that they can move. All right, we're going to go 1. I don't know if I want to go that far. 2. Okay, these guys will go 1, 2, and Yule can command him. He can go 1. He'll just stay there. And then these guys, this is going to be the problem. He's got to go with them. Yeah, he's got to go with them. Okay. My problem's going to be I've got guys too spread out. Not sure if that was a great move. Okay, but that is essentially the Confederate move. So now the Union move. Let's see here. Union move. What do we got here? We're pretty strong here in Newmarket. It's not too bad. I think we're going to stay like that. What else do we got here? Okay. These guys, this is Banks. He's going to go 1, 2. I think he'll bring this guy back into here as well. And he'll lose a step. You can do straggler move, right? Do I want to do that this early on? I'm not sure. Movement, stragglers, USA, step loss 1 to 3. Yeah, let's do straggler move. We'll move this guy 1, 2, meaning he doesn't need a leader. He could just move without units without command can move 1 town. Only 1 town with a forced march dice roll. So let's do that. He loses a step. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Okay, so let's go like this. Fremont's gonna activate. Let's get these guys out here. I can move, I think, 4 down there. 1. I think we'll go 2. No, I can't move him anymore. I guess, you know what? We're gonna move this infantry there and this guy here. And he's gonna go with them. Any leader there? Nope. Those guys can't do anything. Do I wait? Do I leave him there? I think the better thing is to get him forward, so I'm going to go 1. And he loses a step. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Okay, so that is the Union's turn. We've done all movement. There is no battle, so we'll jump right into supplies phase. And we know with supply that I believe the Confederates get 2 points that they could increase. Let's have a look here. CSA gets 2 points. USA gets 3 points. Expend their SPs adding steps to existing units. And then each unit can receive 1 step of replacement per supply unit. Okay. Units can transfer steps directly between units in the same town in the supply phase. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever done that before. And then we get detachments. So let's do supplies. So definitely want my leaders up. 1, 2. Always got to have your leaders up. And definitely got to get the leader 1. Oh, what's this guy? Where is he? There he is. 2. And then we know we can... we could do 1 more step to somebody. What do we got over here? Anybody? These guys up front are down. This guy's down. Did I do 1 for Sherman already? I don't think I did. Let's get Sherman up. We're going to do all the leaders. So 3 there. And then we each get to pick a detachment. So, and the detachments actually come in at 0. I think detachments must be deployed with units of the same division and good supply. Headquarter units are deployed at 0 and then can be raised to strength 1 later. Okay, so everybody else comes in at 1, but I'm going to take this headquarters unit. He comes in at 0, and I am going to put him... Oh, where am I putting him? I guess I'm putting him there. Okay, and what are we doing with the... I think the same maybe with... headquarter units are pretty important. So what do we got over here? We got B's. I think we'll do that as well. We'll go B. We'll come in at 0 here. Okay, and that is a complete turn of the Confederates and the Union for Shenandoah Valley, Jackson Valley campaign. I'll come back when I actually get into a battle and show some rolls. Okay, for our second turn here, May 8 to 10, you got to actually roll the dice. Let's see who's going to go first for initiative. And it looks like, it looks like a tie, and I believe the Confederates go first on all ties. So this game can actually go pretty fast-paced because if you want, I guess. I mean, doesn't have to, but because you know you're going to activate leaders to move them. So I've got Ewell there. I'm going to go Jackson. I don't think I got somebody over there too. I got Johnson. He's going to activate as well. Okay, so what are these guys going to do? It's a big stack of Union there, but I think I got to attack early on anyways with these Confederates. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. So let's move 1 to attack. Jackson will lose a step and he'll move forward. Ewell is going to take these guys somewhere. Yeah, I think we're going to go 1, 2. Again, it's 4 down a road and they're not attacking, so we should be good. Sorry, that wasn't Ewell. That was Johnson, right? Okay, so Ewell, we are going to... We'll probably go like that and attack. He'll go in with them. What are we going to do over here? I don't have a leader with any strength, so we can't do anything. Okay, and I don't think I want to do any straggler rolls with the Confederates. Okay, so rules to remember is that cavalry could retreat after the first round and not get fired upon. Attacking with artillery on the first round, an A2 goes to an A1. Defending artillery stays the same. So the defenders go first. So we go to any A's. We've got 3 A2s. One thing you could do is you could just target the other side's artillery if you want. They call it counter battery fire, but any hits that are unused up or wasted, meaning if you've killed the guy and you've still got a couple of hits left, it's wasted. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do normal A2. Now look at that, we get 2 hits. So right away, I'm going to take that off of this guy, and I guess this guy. So does he have any Bs? Yeah, he's got shields. Has got a B1, nothing, and oh, I forgot to shoot my Confederates. My Confederate artillery can fire at A1. Nothing. I kind of knew that was going to happen. I do have 3 B2s now that shields is already fired, so I'll do 3 B2s. Ashy, we get 1 hit, so if I take that off of there. And then we've got all these Union 3s. Let's do the top 3 C1s, nothing. 3 C2s, 1 hit. I think I'll take that off of that B. And 2 more C2s. Oh, there's another hit. Gotta take it off the artillery. And 2 C1s. Wow, 1 more hit. Wow, that was a bad round. You know what? I forgot to fire Jackson. Can't believe it. 2 B3s. Oh, look at that. 2 snake eyes. That's a good roll for Jackson. Much needed. So we'll take off the C1 and the C2. Okay, so now we're at... sorry, I've got to do my C's now. Man, this can get confusing. So 2 C3s from the Confederates. No hits. 3 C2s for those last ones. Look at that. Snake eyes again. 2 more hits. This was, this has got to come off the artillery. And I guess we'll take it off that. So that was just round 1. Now round 2, these guys could retreat if they want to. And let's just think about that. Yeah, battle sequence. Defender response, reinforcements. I just want to make sure I battle hits, eliminate units, retreats. Each unit may retreat in its battle turn. Units cannot retreat on round 1 except cavalry. Okay, so so I think we're going to do that. So we'll start off with these A's can go first. He's going to go back to Mount Jackson. So that means that the artillery can now shoot. A2. Okay, man, I've rolled 3 snake eyes here with these Confederates. So we'll take that off of there, and we have to take it off of there. Okay, so now the B's, shields can retreat as well. And now Jackson gets to fire 2 B3. He misses everything. And 2 B2s for the cavalry. 1 hit, so we'll take that down. And then these C's can retreat. Yeah, I think if they stayed there, they might have gotten annihilated. So I could regroup. Actually, I can't because this regrouping over here would be to a battle, so I'm not going to do that. So there's no, I could go backwards. I'm not going to go backwards. Okay, so we've got this 1 battle here. We know that they can't do anything on. Oh, cavalry can retreat on their first turn. They can actually attack and then retreat. So that's what we're going to do. B1, nothing, and they will retreat right away. So good deal for them. Do I move that leader over? No. I think we're good. Okay, so that was a pretty good turn for the Confederates. They're off to a good start. Yeah, no real good battles for the Union right now. All right, I'm going to play a bunch of turns by myself because I just want to have some fun. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish the whole thing. We'll see how it goes, and maybe I'll do a sort of a final overview at the end. All right, so I've made it to June 7-9. So what is that? Turn 12, and I got to call it because the Confederates have taken so many losses, there's just no way that they're going to be able to do anything. The Union's taken some losses, but just no way near as much as they totally beat Stonewall. I actually lost him about 2 terms ago anyway, so it's pretty much a wrap. Great game. I really like playing it. You can play it pretty quick. I like the movement of it. This came down to just die rolls, and I had surrounded, I'd cut off Jackson so that he couldn't retreat, and that was kind of the key moment. Once I did that, so you got to remember not to make sure you got some flank support, and so you don't get surrounded and get cut off. Because then I just threw all the Union forces I had at him, because I knew if I destroyed him, then it was over, and that's exactly what happened. So good use of some of the leadership detachment counters though from both sides. I was able to bring them in, get them up to strength, and then move some forces. So that was good. The Confederates are always going to be at a bit of a disadvantage because they only get 2 supply points. So they've got to hit hard first and try to drive and see what happens. And this time around, instead of leaving forces back here, I just moved up as many Union guys as I could, and even took some straggler rolls just to get them up. So I think that's probably a good strategy for the Union. Anyways, Shenandoah Valley, Jackson Valley campaign, Shenandoah, Jackson Valley campaign, Columbia Games, Tom Danglish and Gary Selkirk. Really, really great game. Lots of fun. I look forward to playing this one all the time. All right, leave me any comments, like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Take care.